Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Trump. Is he crashing the markets and is he doing it on purpose? What impact this has on crypto and the global financial markets, and what will be the outcome? So make sure you stay until the end, because then I will show you what will be the next steps after this one. Stay excited and let's jump in. You see this headline here, and this is from end of October 2024. I think most people forgot already what happened before we had the elections. Everybody got so excited about the strategic Bitcoin reserve and all the bullish news from Trump about crypto that we all forgot about the election promises that have been made before the elections. And I want to point a bit back to it and look at what this could mean. Elon Musk says that if Trump wins, he'll cause the economy to crash. This is what he said end of October. And even more, I have a post here where he confirmed, sounds about right. If Trump succeeds in forcing through mass deportations combined with Elon hacking away from the government, firing people and reducing the deficit, there will be an initial severe overreaction in the economy. This economy, propped up with debt, generating asset bubbles and artificially suppressing wages as a result of illegal immigration, markets will tumble. That's what he said, October. Then the storm passes and everyone realizes we are on sounder footing. There will be a rapid recovery to a healthier, sustainable economy. History could be made in the coming 2 years. Why is this important? Because they speak about the next 2 years. So that means we see a crash first and then we see a rise in economy. And I will show you something else why this could be very true, that we get exactly this. But we come to that in the next step. First of all, we have to understand, okay, we talk about 2 years. We are not even half year in. So let's say the first half to 1 year is going to be difficult, which would mean it leads us to the end of this year. This is when we expect rate cuts. This is when we expect our charts to bottom, total 3. This is when we expect ETH to finally reach its support line on the RSI. And this is probably when we see Bitcoin bottom at some point as well. The big question is, does this strategy work and does it really pay off in the end? Or is this not going to work out and we're going to see a big recession that can't be stopped anymore? That's the bigger question that we have. And what I see at the markets right now is that so far we see a lot of promises coming true, because Trump said, I will weaken the dollar. If we look at the dollar chart, what we see is he's weakening the dollar. When we look at the Bitcoin chart and we overlay the DXY is the US dollar chart. It means the US dollar chart compared to other fiat currencies in comparison. It shows if the dollar is strong or weak. And so far, Donald Trump said he's going to weaken the dollar. He came into office end of January. We started to see the dollar weaken. It's falling, purple line. The other line, Bitcoin. If we zoom out, the interesting thing with Trump is that we already have a president period that we can look at, that we had before. So we can see what happened in 2017. We had a bull run and we had Trump in office. Trump came in office in January 17. What we saw then was a weaker dollar for almost 1.5 years. He weakened the dollar over the next 1.5 years, and that led to the biggest bull run in crypto history. Here we saw a decline in the US dollar index, but the bull run didn't really start until May 2017. This time it feels like everything pays out even slower, and all of that we need to probably take more time. But maybe I'm wrong and next month everything is going up already. I think today will show if we see further downside or not. It will be very interesting to watch. And what we have to understand is that markets, they don't like uncertainty. So they rather have bad news and they know how to deal with it. It's the thing with tariffs at the moment. He's putting out the tariffs, he's releasing them, he's putting them, he's releasing them, and nobody can plan. It's really horrible for a business owner. He's like, give me something that I can work with so I can raise my prices or not. But if I don't know if they come or not, I cannot really deal with it. Overall, I think most people bought exactly the goods that they needed and stored them. So it's not a big impact on the businesses yet. But at some point, the storages are empty and then we're going to see what comes out. Furthermore, Everybody wants clarity. And as long as we don't have clarity, we probably see the markets fall further. And this is what we see right now. Uncertainty, nobody knows what's coming. And what if this is all on purpose? What if he does all this on purpose? And what if it's a bigger plan? Because they said in October, this is the plan. Now it's happening and everybody's freaking out. Like, why are they doing that? Didn't he promise a golden age? Yeah, but he said there's pain before. Now there's the pain and nobody wants to have it real. Like, you can see the news, like just search on the internet. But so far, step one is in play. Pain is coming, and then we will see what comes after. If they can hold their promise and give us a golden age, I don't know. So let's see. So what does he want? He wants to devalue dollar because that will strengthen US exports. It makes them more competitively to global markets, which leads to a potentially increasing demand for American-made goods. This is the idea behind a weaker dollar. There's another thing in play. You have to understand Trump's fortune. I will make a video about his fortune because he owns more than 3 billion US dollars in assets. He wants interest rates lower because he owns real estate. Most of his fortune is in real estate and commercial real estate. So he needs lower interest rates to get this whole thing profitable again. So he has his own interest in getting interest rates lower. Overall, I don't think there's an interest for anyone to crash the markets longer. Elon Musk owns a tech company. That's what bleeds the most when we have a weakening economy. But you have to understand, to make tech companies successful, what you need is low interest rates, because a lot of tech companies work on growth, so they work on debt. And when the interest rates are high, they can't afford to get debt. Maybe you heard Silicon Valley is dead. Yeah, why is that? Because the interest rate is too high. A few years ago, it was booming. There were startups everywhere, in every corner. Everybody was borrowing money and then paying the investments with it, paying the employees with it, just financing the growth with it. But right now, the interest rates are too high, so that blocks the whole innovation sector in tech. And if you look at the team that Trump put together, there's a lot of VC investors, which means they are venture capitalists into small tech companies, into future-looking companies that haven't built much value yet. So that means they need low interest rates. And if they don't have low interest rates, there won't be a boom. So let's sum this up. He wants a weaker dollar. He needs lower interest rates. And which way you get that? By crashing the economy. Because then the Fed has to step in, lower interest rates, pump liquidity into the markets, which then protects the whole system from falling and brings us to the next wave up. Because when we look at 2017, we can see that we had a crash here. And let's zoom in. We take this out. We need to zoom in on the Bitcoin chart here. You can see we had some starting issues. It was not that we just skyrocketed and that's it. No, we had some starting issues. This was when he came in office. January, then it was a bit of a rough time here until July. Actually, we had a pump in here, but then we had a big correction and then we really took off. So it took like half the year to then really take off. I feel that this time it might take even longer because the pain they're gonna cause might be even bigger. I don't know in which way he's gonna do it. Maybe we get the results today. One interesting thing to watch is that when we look at Ethereum, for example, we start building bullish divergences on the RSI. So if we look at this chart here, you can see that on the price chart, we are creating a double bottom here. So I take this away. We created a double bottom here while we had a rise on the RSI here. So that means there's momentum building in the chart while the price is not following. We had the same thing before here. We built this double bottom and then we had a higher low on the RSI. Afterwards, we had a rally from about 2,000 to 4,000, 100% rally. Now we had a lower level, but we're doing the same thing. So it's possible, as I said, I think it depends on what comes out today. It's possible that we see a relief. I think it's too early to be too motivated. I will wait and see what's coming. And I think the pain they cause might be longer, but it could happen that we get the biggest bull run we've ever seen right after that, if they can hold their promise and if they don't go too far and break anything. this is going to be what is the most important in the end. Because if we look at the Nasdaq here, we lost our Fibonacci levels. We tested it as resistance now from the top. And now what is likely is that we don't break above and then go further down. And this would be the next level. If this happens, we have another 9% to go. If the Nasdaq goes down 9%, trust me, Bitcoin is going to bleed for sure. There is no way around it. It's going to happen. What is interesting to see is that we go on really low levels on the RSI. If we go on a higher time frame, there's some room. Like if we come down to this line here around 30, then the RSI is really oversold. So that would be a good moment to actually buy and to wait for the markets to flip around. You can see every time we go into these levels here, we're close to the bottom. We had it here. Here was exactly the bottom. If we go a bit back in time here, it was close to the bottom. So usually when the RSI on the weekly chart goes close to 30, it's a good time to buy for the Nasdaq. And the likelihood that we rise from here is high. So let's sum this up. I think we have to see what they do today, and we have to see how much more pain they cause. I'm pretty relaxed here, to be honest, because it's exactly what they said. If Trump wins, he'll cause the economy to crash. And this is what we're seeing now. This could lead the Fed to lower interest rates. This could lead the Fed to pump liquidity into the market, which would be good for risk assets, which would be good for tech stocks, which would be good for Bitcoin, which would be good for altcoins especially. And as long as we're not there, and as long as we're not touching our line on the total 3, and you can see we're still far away from it, I am not too concerned. Interesting part, also here we're building a bullish divergence, and it's not the only ones. Like if we look at crypto stocks, it's the same thing. MicroStrategy, we had the same thing here, double bottom, bullish divergence on the RSI. Go at Marathon Digital Holdings, double bottom, bullish on the RSI. So we are printing these bullish divergences everywhere. That means that the markets gets impatient. Everybody wants to pump. Everybody's like, there must be the bull run now, but it's not coming yet because the circumstances doesn't allow it, and Trump is causing insecurity, which I think he's doing on purpose. So let's see when this stops, or when the market participants get too impatient and they're like, you know, whatever, I throw my money and I buy. What do you think? What's going to happen next? What do you think comes out today? And do we see a huge, massive crash, or are we close to the bottom? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time. Ciao.